first time I found out about the character was in 2004. Like, I was reading this book. The opening statement, mentioned about a character named Oswald, and it just got me interested in finding out who was this Oswald. And as about 2007 is when I actually finally got to see the first Oswald short. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, introduced in 1927. He was created by Walt Disney, who at the time worked for Universal Studios. He had a contract with a man named Charles Mintz, who at the time was in charge of Walt Disney's animation. The first Oswald short was named Charlie Troubles. During Walt Disney's span on these shorts, he became probably the most popular character. Everything seemed great. That is until a year later, when Walt Disney went to the Universal Studios head to renegotiate his contract so that he would be able to get more money out of the shorts so that he could produce better shorts. Unfortunately, Charles Mintz said no to his request, and on top of that, fired him, taking away most of his animators, with the exception of Iwerks, who would later on become a very famous animator along with Walt Disney. Universal decided that they would continue the Oswald shorts, but instead now with Charles Mintz and George Winkler. The first Winkler-Mintz short was a short named High Up, which was released in 1928. The quality of the Oswald shorts really went downhill from the Walt Disney shorts. Although a notable thing about the Winkler and Mintz era is that they introduced Oswald to sound with 1929's Hen Fruit. Unfortunately, Hen Fruit is not only lost, but was released a year after a certain cartoon character that Walt Disney created. Right after Walt Disney's departure from Universal Studios, he and Iwerks worked on creating a new character. In 1928, Steamboat Willie not only had sound been introduced to the animation world, but also quite possibly the most popular character in animation history, Mickey Mouse. Walt Disney's newer creation was similar to Oswald in many ways, but different enough so that they wouldn't have to have any problems with legal rights. As Mickey stepped into the animation world, Oswald would gain some problems. Mickey would start to gain more popularity through his shorts, while Oswald would lose some. They decided to hand over Oswald shorts to a newer animator named Walter Lantz. Walter Lantz decided to get the consent of Walt Disney, and after he got Walt Disney's approval to do the short, he decided to move on and start making Oswald shorts. The first Oswald short from Walter Lantz was 1929's Race Riot, and already a great improvement over the Winkler and Mintz shorts was noticeable in the animation. Oswald was finally introduced in color in the 1934 short Toyland premiere. During Walter Lantz's era, Oswald would get a drastic change in his design, but as the shorts progressed, they started adding more and more to the point that he looked like a realistic rabbit and hardly resembled the original design of Oswald. It seemed like Oswald would never really get the respect he deserved. That is until 2006. At the time, Walt Disney had started negotiating with Universal Studios. They made a trade. Their sportscaster Al Michaels would be traded to Universal so long as Disney would get the rights to Oswald and his shorts back. In 2010, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was announced to be a part of a game known as Epic Mickey. Epic Mickey focused on Mickey going into a world full of forgotten, rejected Disney characters. But most importantly, Mickey comes across Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Oswald, being jealous of Mickey for stealing his fame, grows to love him as the game goes on.
It looks like he's probably gonna become, famous like he should have been to begin with. So it looks like, the character really does have a bright future.
Who are you? Who, me? Lucky Rabbit, that lucky Oswald Rabbit, nicest rabbit that you ever knew. Lucky habit, that lucky Oswald habit. If you want it, here's what you must do. Reading, writing, arithmetic may often make you awful sick, but if you learn your lessons quicker you'll be through. Don't be scrappy, but smile and do things snappy. Make folks happy and you'll be lucky too. Oh, ba-ba-ba-be-do, ba-ba-ba-be-do. Lucky Rabbit, that lucky Oswald Rabbit, nicest rabbit that you ever knew. Lucky habit, that lucky Oswald habit. If you want it, here's what you must do. Every morning when you wake, some resolution you should make. Don't stuff your tummy till they ache with candy, cake, and food. Play and study. Don't get your books all muddy. Help your body, and you'll be lucky too. Steel 19, radio 13, caller button 0. There's